Hey everyone, it's Stu here. I wanted to give you all an update while testing out this new editing software. This video is going to be a little off the cuff and a little rough, so please excuse the guerrilla style videography and voiceover. A lot of things have happened these past few weeks, and I wanted to make sure you all weren't in the dark on what's going on with Tilted Tales, and myself and Riva. We recently moved from San Antonio to Austin. It's quiet here, but it's close enough to various game studios, something I might be pursuing in the future, but that's for another discussion. There's a little bit of odd B-roll footage here I took this afternoon, and I wanted to test this software out, so mostly I'll be using this on my animation projects, and you can probably tell I make coffee a lot here. I'm not the best barista, but Cat doesn't seem to really mind. Anyway, I kind of give in and give him milk anyway. Alright, let's talk about some of the down stuff that kind of happened. Both had a little bit of a rough time getting settled in here. On Riva's last leg of the trip, a pulley broke off in her engine about 30 minutes away from the new apartment. She lost all the belts, including what drives the alternator, air conditioning, power steering. We had to replace the bumper anyway, it was a bit damaged, so we thought we could probably tackle all of that at the same time. Given the fact that we just moved, the pet fees alone were outrageously expensive on Riva's end, and we didn't have the money to kind of take this to a mechanic again, so I figured we would try our hand at fixing it. But with everything you do yourself, there come a bit of problems. Look at that pulley, that completely was off the motor. Yeah, it's not supposed to do that. As you can see, with anything you do that's aftermarket, parts don't exactly match up. On the left there, that's the original pulley, the one that wobbled, as you can see. You can see it's all chipped up, and that's not going to work again. And there's the aftermarket part, which that tool is necessary to get that back on the motor, and that's not going to work. Getting the belts on this motor was absolutely one of the most difficult things I think I've ever physically had to do. I'm definitely not a mechanic, but hey, the car runs fine now, so I guess it pays off. As for what's going on with Tilted Tail, a bit of a rigging problem with the lips since about January. I've tried a lot of different methods for getting these things to look and function properly, or at least the way that I envision them to. But with each set of different things I've done here, poses a kind of pro and con to each method. You can see with this one, there's a lot of really ugly pinching, and this one's a ribbon setup, and not a fan. Things just don't really, it's almost there, but there's just not very good controls. Things kind of flip on, not flip, but they don't, it's not smooth. I tried another one here, but it has a lot of weird angles and a lot of lack of control. With this one, I got very close. Things almost looked like they were working, but if you look real close here, you can see how it penetrates in on itself. And I could not for the life of me figure out why until I kind of stripped it under the hood. You'll see here real close when I switch gears, you're going to have a bit of a flipping problem that's going to be prevalent in this. As you can see, when the controller hits 90 degrees, when it becomes parallel with the world, it flips 180. This has been a prevalent problem since the start of this rigging session. So I try to tackle this with a crude solution. Each one of those objects is telling each one of those controllers where up is. This is not feasible, by the way. The math is all screwy, and implementing this in a real rigging setup is just a mess. There's just no way for this to be organized or there's just so much that can go wrong with it. So, and in any extreme position, this thing breaks. Just a few days ago, though, I think I came up with a good solution. I used a cone, kind of doesn't flip, or if it flips, you could kind of tell if it does, since it's, you know, it's offset. But everything seems to behave pretty predictably, and that's what I wanted. But with any new solution, you got to kind of step it up. You implement it, and you step it up to see if it works in a more complex. Here's a stepped up version. Things seem to behave pretty good, so this is looking pretty promising. I didn't record footage of it stepped up further with a better algorithm. The math here is a little lazy, so you'll see it flip when one of those controllers kind of hits tangent with the curve. You'll see right here. Bam. See how it flips? That's just due to some lazy math that I did to kind of see if this would work. So far it is predictable and it does behave pretty good. Me and Reeve have been working really hard. We do really appreciate all your donations and contributions to us. We're working hard to really get back on track here. And again, thank you very much, and hope this kind of clears up what we were doing. See you around.